The scariest improvised weapons in history. 10. The Killdozer. The story of how Marvin Heemeyer came to make the Killdozer that his name will forever be attached to is something of a sad one. Heemeyer had been in a 3-year-long fight with City Hall in the town of Granby, Colorado. The city had approved the construction of a concrete plant next to his machine shop. He didn't like that and petitioned to have the land rezoned to no avail. For years he fought against the construction of the plant, but it just didn't pan out. Finally, Heemeyer had enough. 9. Pipe bombs. Some of the oldest explosives in the world, and even to this day some of the most terrifying, pipe bombs are simple and brutally efficient. There are records of people using pipe bombs as far back as the late 1880s to wreak havoc and cause death and injury. In its simplest terms, a pipe bomb is just what the name suggests: a length of pipe packed with explosives and the ends capped off so that there is increased pressure to maximize the damage when it explodes. 8. Vasily Zaitsev's anti-tank sniper rifle. Vasily Zaitsev was one of the most famous snipers in military history, with over 400 confirmed kills during the Second World War. It was his prowess as a sniper that led to one of the most devastatingly effective improvised weapons of the entire war. Zaitsev used the scope off of a sniper rifle and rigged it to an anti-tank gun, effectively making an anti-tank sniper rifle that had not existed before. The result was a weapon of remarkable destructive capability that could also operate at a stunning distance. 7. Molotov cocktails. Few improvised weapons are as recognizable and down and dirty as the Molotov cocktail. Just about everyone has heard of one as they've been a staple in movies for years, and arguably anyone could make one with a few simple household ingredients. All you need is a bottle full of flammable liquid, and a rag stuffed inside to act as a wick. The Molotov cocktail traces its origin to the Spanish Civil War. When faced with nearly impervious tanks, Francisco Franco ordered the development of incendiary devices that could burn the tank's treads, rendering them all but inoperable. They also ensured that the crew inside the tank would have to flee or burn. 6. Fugasse flamethrower. There are a few more terrifying ways to meet your maker than in a blazing inferno. That's pretty much what a flamethrower threatens to do when you see the business end pointed in your direction. Though anything that can direct flames could be considered a flamethrower, the modern idea of a flamethrower as a weapon dates back to 1901 in Germany. And while a fuel tank with a propulsion system in the form of a gun is terrifying, a Fugasse flamethrower is even more terrifying. 5. Hell cannons. The name Hell Cannon sounds awesome enough in terms of warcraft, and it certainly seems like something that should have a licensed manufacturer. Nonetheless, the Hell cannons made in Syria are simple yet efficient destructive tools. The Free Syrian Army has a reputation for making some deadly yet effective improvised weapons, but the Hell cannon is a real standout. Essentially a homemade howitzer cannon, the Hell cannon's most famous munition is not a typical mortar or rocket, rather, a propane tank rigged with fins to make it aerodynamic and stuffed with extra munitions. 4. Sham-2 tank. Proving that the forces in Syria are not one-hit wonders, not only have they developed the Hell cannon, they've also managed to create their very own improvised tank. Built on the chassis of a normal car, this heavily armored vehicle features a turret-mounted machine gun and is also capable of operating with nothing more than the controller for a PlayStation 2. With a video display inside connected to externally mounted cameras, the operator of the Sham-2 tank could be relatively safe inside of the armored core of the vehicle while still being able to see everything, steer the vehicle, and fire the weapons. 3. Marble gun. Back in the day, if you spent any time in the country, there was a good chance you learned the ways of the potato gun. This homemade weapon was used to fire a potato at some pretty impressive velocity and caused a bit more destruction than any tuberous root vegetable has any right to do. The evolution of the potato gun in the modern world seems to be the marble gun, a quick and dirty homemade weapon that can fire tiny glass marbles. 2. French nail. Trench warfare was brutal and terrifying during the First World War, but it was not uncommon. Close-quarters combat made many firearms useless, and melee weapons were the order of the day. Soldiers had knives or bayonets, but in messy conditions on a long enough timeline, these kinds of weapons can get lost or destroyed. That meant they needed to improvise something new on the front lines with limited supplies. 1. Nailorang. Bruce Wayne clearly has some skill fashioning improvised weapons shaped like bats that he can throw like boomerangs that come with the kind of cool nickname of a batarang. While forging something like that in the real world would take a little bit more skill and effort than the average non-superhero has, there is a bizarre alternative that is remarkably efficient and incredibly easy to make.